Yeah, huh? Need some fire coming out of the back. Yeah. All right. So guys, you got chairs back there. You want to sit down? You don't need to stand. It's just not loud.
Hey, if there's anybody here under 15 that doesn't have a blue ticket, make sure you come up and get a blue ticket. If you're under 15 or under, make sure you have a blue ticket.
You're too witty.
We've got we've got 9 people online. Those of you online, we're getting started here soon. Hopefully you'll be able to hear us. We do have some giveaways as well. Unfortunately, if you're not here, it's going to be hard for us to give them away to you. RJ is here.
I made it.
Hey, Steve,
Blue tickets coming up.
all right. I want to get started. Just check if anybody comes down. Thank you, sir. Let's see up front here. Joe? Yeah. Yeah, good.
Here's your photo section, right?
All right, folks, let's get started. First of all, thank you very, very much for coming. And I have a question. This is not a trick question nor a test. How many people here are Eastern TCA members? Eastern. Look at that. Okay, hands down. Thank you very much for coming. Where were you guys at 8 o'clock this morning? That's right. So it was kind of funny because we have to have a quorum for our meeting in the morning at 8 o'clock. We didn't have it, and some of the people there weren't even Eastern TCA members, you know. So I didn't even have 30 people. So we had 28 people. But interesting. But just so you know, Eastern TCA members, we have a membership meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning, right here in this room. I was here. You get a donut and coffee, so that's all good. Anyway, we were here at 8 o'clock and we had our meeting and spent about 45 minutes just reviewing everything. Took about money, took about numbers, things like that. So if you can come in the future, always remember, I'm not trying to do something else. We need to do a Zoom meeting and do something like that so we get a quorum that way. But we're going to try some different things in the future. Okay. This is great. You know, we had 30 chairs and they weren't even full this morning. So we got standing room only. This is great. Folks, I think I got an exciting next hour for you. We're going to be here at 12 o'clock. I've invited the YouTube guys that are here to join us today. We have 4 of them here. I'm going to have them introduce themselves in just a minute. But I felt that this is the social media side that we need to be addressing and be part of. Hello, right? Yes. Yeah, we're there. We're going to get there. And so we are working on it and trying to get more apt at that. But we've got these guys. We're recruiting these guys to help us get there. If you saw our Facebook page, we had a real nice introduction by Chris Montagna. He did a great job. I posted that a couple weeks ago. And we're going to get videos after the show to show people what happened here. So, and any suggestions you may have, come see me. Okay. Folks, if you want to get a chair right there, the pile of chairs, and sit down, please do. You're welcome to sit down. Okay, with that, I'm going to have the YouTube video guys introduce themselves, starting with, you want to start, Sean, over there? Okay. Sid, you start then.
Okay, we're getting one last thing here, but
Why don't you come up here? Might be too far back. Yeah,
for those of you who do not know, I'm Sid from 6 Trains. I've been on YouTube for around 5 years now, and I started when I was in high school. I was a freshman, and my kind of my focus for the most part is definitely the technical side of things, electronics, mechanics, upgrading things, repairing things. Obviously, I have a layout. I'm slowly building that, and I'm building my collection. But for the most part, I'm definitely known on YouTube for my technical work. And I'm always asked, like, am I majoring? I'm in school right now. Am I majoring in something? Yes, I'm majoring in electrical engineering. So I'm definitely the the technical parts when it comes to the YouTube ramble things, but that's not the only thing going on in this world. There's also other people doing other things, because it's not just electronics.
Well, I'm a nobody compared to the three of them up here, but I am RJ from RJ's Trains. Haven't been as active on YouTube recently, just because I live in Washington, D.C., and the layout that you see on my YouTube channel is up in New York. So I want to run trains. I don't get to go downstairs to the basement now. I have to drive 6 hours to go run trains. But I'm the weird person that just loves the Long Island Railroad, because I grew up in the shadow of the Long Island Railroad, but you can also see me. But you can also see me running Southern, Amtrak, modern diesels, and a bunch of other things. And unlike here, who is the electrical engineer, and him, who's the scenery master, I just have a very simple layout, and I love running my trains. So, on to...
Yeah, so I'm Chris Montagna from Chris's Trains and Things. I, like a lot of the kids in here, started collecting trains when I was young. Like 5 years old, got my first train from my grandfather, and had a layout in my basement until I was about 12. My parents finished the basement at that time, the layout came down. Got out of the hobby once I was in high school and college, and I was about 25 or so. My wife's sister bought a house. This guy had a train layout in the basement. My father-in-law made an offhanded comment about it, and I was like, oh, I'll go check that out. And 2 days later, I had about $1,200 worth of trains in my basement for like $400. This guy was basically giving this stuff away. And I didn't know how to use any of it, because I was used to just conventional. And I had a legacy controller and all that stuff that you need. And so I went on YouTube, and I learned from Eric Siegel. Looked at all his old videos on how he wired things and set it up, and I built a layout the next weekend in my basement. And 3 weeks later, expanded that layout in my basement, and it's kind of grown from there. And then the layout that you see now is in the new house. So we moved, and first thing I did was go to the basement. It was unfinished, and I said, this is going to work just fine. And I went to YouTube to learn how to finish the basement. Did that myself to save some money, so that I could be buying Ross switches in the meantime. And then we have the layout that we have now. And it continues to evolve. As if you follow my channel, you know that it evolves. And we tear some things down and redo it as you learn how to get better. But the most important thing that I've learned is just do something. All right? Sometimes we get hesitant to try something because we don't want to be wrong or mess it up. We can always fix it. Just do something. All right? That's enough for me right now. And then we have Sean, Dackman Productions.
Hello everybody, my name is Sean Conahay from Dackman Productions. Got into Lionel Trains back in 1976. My very first set was for Christmas time. And I'm sure many of you guys may have seen this Christmas Story movie, but he pulled one of them stunts up. Promised me this train set and I don't see it under the tree. And he's like, you didn't get what you wanted. I'm like, nah. He says, well, you better check the closet. And in the closet, here's this Lionel train set, and I was so excited as a kid to get this and get it out of the box and play with it. And so I stuck with it since 1976. The MPC era was a great era for me. Loved those trains. I know it's not for everybody, but it was the brilliant colors and the excitement of the MPC era that kept me with it. And so as I progressed in 1981, I went from O27 to O gauge, and then got out of it, the hobby, like many of the older guys did. When I went to high school, I went to drag racing, car shows, and so that was my thing during that era. And then in 2000, I got back into trains. Only at that time, I got into G gauge. I was a G gauger from 2000 to 2015, and then got back into O gauge in 2015 because I felt as though G gauge didn't offer me what O gauge could. And so those memories of my childhood got me back into O gauge again. And then during this time, I decided to start a YouTube channel in 2010. So I've been doing YouTube since 2010. And one of my main goals of my channel, I decided was to promote the hobby in any way that I could by promoting the vendors, the organizations like the TCA and Mecca, hobby shops. And even though I'm an O-gauger, you'll see that I do a lot of train show tour videos as well from other shows. and I try to include other gauges besides O gauge. So you'll see HL, you'll see N, to try and capture people who may like other gauges to get into the model railroading hobby.
Yeah, so I started my channel in 2018 because at the time there wasn't a whole lot of channels other than Eric's and a couple other little ones. It certainly hasn't grown as much as it has in the past few years. I'm an educator, and so I thought I could do something. If I could do something and someone could learn from what I do, then that would be beneficial. And so started from there, and then it just continued to grow. And the Hobby Shop Hop has been pretty popular. Just trying to promote more hobby shops and get people either in the door or if they can call if they see something in the video. Has been pretty fun, and then that's expanded now to working with plastic toy trains and writing articles for them. So just a different, we got Hal in the back, just different ways to get the word out there and the message and promote the new way that the hobby is kind of moving in. You know, having seen working as an elementary school teacher, you realize, I realized pretty early on that kids are content creators and content consumers, right? And so if we can create the content that we want them to consume, better than having them find other stuff for them to consume online. So hopefully this is an outlet for some kids that maybe don't have a layout or they're working on one. If we can keep coming up with positive content for them to consume, then that's a benefit for the future.
Great. All right, guys, before we open up the question and answers, I'd like to introduce Kevin Quinn. He's right now Vice President of National TCA. He's with us today with some goodies behind me. You see him back there, for door prizes. Kevin, I'm going to turn it over to you for the rest of the meeting, sir. It's all yours, buddy.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob. And I want to thank these guys here, and most of all, I want to thank all of you, especially the ones that can't be here today, all the YouTubers, all the social media guys and gals. This is a phenomenal avenue for our hobby. Again, to echo Chris, to educate the hobby, to educate guys like me. I'm not really a technical type of guy, you know, okay? I'm a templater. So I operate with old stuff and ZWs and stuff. And technology, I'm glad these guys are out here doing this to educate guys like myself. Every day is part of the learning process. And I can't thank all of you for coming out here today, supporting the hobby, supporting the York Train Show, supporting TCA, and supporting these guys. Subscribe to their channels. I was talking to Sean earlier, and he told me 5 million viewers.
5 million views, my channel passed 5 million views.
5 million views. That, to me, that is huge. That's huge. And this is the way the hobby, again, Chris said the hobby changing. The hobby definitely changing. And to have you guys and these guys get together, it's phenomenal. I think this is a real positive, and the way the hobby is going, I see good things out of this. And I will turn it over back to these guys because they are way more important, and you are way more important than I am right now. So fire away.
Yeah, we've got some door prizes here. Should we pull an orange ticket? So we've got some train sets. Those are for the blue tickets for anybody under 15. So again, if you're under 15, you came in, you don't have a blue ticket, just make sure you grab one. But we've got a bunch of other stuff.
Under 15?
Anybody under? Yeah. We've got a bunch of other stuff that we're going to give away here. So let's go ahead and do the first giveaway. We've got a sign here, a shirt, and some TCA swag. So I don't know who's got the bucket of cool tickets, but
He has the orange. He's gonna give one more of that.
one more. All right.
He's got the blue ticket.
Rupert, do you have the cool tickets that we can?
He's got the pool tickets.
We're gonna give away one of the orange ones, right?
Yeah, no worries.
Do orange first? I'm not ready yet. Surprise me.
All right, well, we'll pull them apart. So, I don't know if you guys have anything you want to add, or just open up the Q&A. Yeah. If anybody has any questions or anything, we'll get the tickets prepped and then we'll start pulling some stuff. So,
There you go.
This question is for Sid.
Okay.
You did a video about adding TMCC to a NPC era engine.
Yeah.
What's the feasibility of making like a Protosound 2 version of that, where you put a Protosound 2 board into an NPC?
So the thing with MPC or just any kind of post-war style of engine is they have AC motors. They're old school, and so MCH products specifically need DC motors, and they need a flywheel for a sensor to allow them to run. You can install DC motors into those engines. That's just a bit more of modification. With TMCC, you can run AC or DC motors. I guess the pros of running with DC motors is you can have cruise control. It can crawl up a hill without speeding up or slowing down, and you can go down a hill and just have any train behind it without adjusting its speed. But with an AC motor, there is some fluctuation in the speed and the power. But yeah, if you install a DC motor into an older engine, you can put DCS or Protosound 2 or 3 in it.
I have a question. What do you use to edit your videos?
Okay, I think it's for all of us. So to start, I use it's called Power.
Repeat the question.
Okay, yeah. The question was, what do we use to edit our videos? So so to start, I film with my phone. My dad's over here filming a little. I film with my phone, and then I take that footage and I put it onto my computer, and I use a software called Power Director. There's tons of editing software, so I think we'll probably use something different. But I use what's called Power Director on my computer. What do you guys?
So for the longest time, I had used my phone and the DCS app to control my trains, which is a bit of a problem when I also use my phone to film my videos. So you know, there was like a whole year where I didn't blow the horn in any of my videos because I couldn't. But I use my phone to film the videos, and then I got a MacBook Air, which comes with iMovie free installed, and I think all Apple products come with iMovie installed on them for free, and that's what I use to edit my videos. It's really easy to use.
Yeah. I film on my phone as well, because I could spend the money on a camera, or I could buy another train. So it's an easy decision to stick with the iPhone. And then I send the files from my phone to my computer, and I use it's a website called WeVideo. It's a really easy, simple web-based program. So I think it's like $100 a year for subscription, and I can just upload all the files to that. So I'm not keeping them local, so it doesn't take up my hard drive space. And it's simple and easy. I'm not using like Premiere or anything like that. What do you think?
Okay, so I also use a program called Power Director, only because I'm using a camcorder and combination of camcorder and cell phone. And the reason why I use two different pieces of equipment, because I found during my train show tour videos that the cell phone cannot capture quite the angles that I wanted to get. So when you're filming a train coming around, there's a piece of Lexan glass up here, you're filming it like this. So I wanted to get the angles where you're looking at the train like this. And the only way I could do that is to have a camcorder. I'll take my camcorder, pop it on the monopod. I'll take my monopod, I'll turn everything upside down, put it on the other side of the layout, and now you're looking at the train like this. So it gives me a lot of options of how to shoot different angles. And I'll use my Power Director. If I shoot the video upside down, I can easily turn it the other way on Power Director. Power Director also gives you the option of doing a video in video, or you can insert photos into your video. There's a lot of different things you can do with Power Director that I like.
Yeah.
What is your favorite video that you posted on YouTube? If you don't mind me asking that. And least favorite. Let's go with favorite.
I would probably say, so this video is actually somehow my most popular video. It was just a video on a double crossover that I made out of Fast Track. I made a double crossover switch setup out of Fast Track, and I uploaded this video, I think during the beginning of the pandemic, not thinking anything about it, and it just took off. Like, for me, having like 8,000 views is pretty high, so that's my biggest video. So it's kind of I like it because I didn't really put that much into it. It's more so just about the double crossover, seeing a bunch of trains going across, and that's kind of my favorite. I don't really have a least favorite. I like all
I
my videos.
understand too. I saw that video too.
So I think I can answer my favorite and least favorite video with the same video. And it's a video that I had to take off of my channel for a few reasons. But 2 years ago, kind of in the middle of COVID, I decided to attempt a long-distance cross-country Amtrak trip entirely in coach. And it's funny going back and watching it because before I even boarded the train was delayed for about an hour, and I said this might turn into an adventure I wasn't expecting. Well, we ended up being 5 hours late to Chicago. We ran out of food by 7:30 in the morning on the train. We were stuck on the train for another 6.5 hours. We ended up getting to Chicago. It's Memorial Day weekend, and in true Chicago fashion, it is 35 degrees and sleeting. So the baseball game I was planning on going to was canceled that evening. The next morning, I went out to the suburbs on the Metro commuter train to visit a friend, and coming back into Chicago to catch my train to Seattle, my commuter train was delayed by a freight train by an hour, and I got to Union Station in time just to see my train to Seattle leaving the station. Decided to be quick thinking. I hopped on the subway out to the airport to catch a flight out to Minneapolis, and my plan was to meet the train in Minneapolis. Well, that was my plan. There ended up being a mechanical issue with the plane. Flight was delayed 2.5 hours. They ended up putting me up in a hotel room for the night, and I just said, screw it. I flew back home. And all of this was captured on video and was posted up on my channel at one point.
That's a story.
That's crazy.
Big Chris, huh?
Favorite video. It's tough to narrow that down. One of those popular ones was the K-line tank engine that Sid worked on, put legacy whistle steam and swinging bell in. That's one of my favorites just because it's a one-of-one engine that I got here from a vendor in the Orange Hall. Got it back to lab, I was dead on arrival. And that night I just took it and said, Sid, work your magic. And a couple months later we had that awesome engine. So that's probably one of my favorites that I've done. Yeah.
All right, so my favorite video would be from the old train farm. That's Harry Henning III right there. So he's the one who has the old train.
for watching it.
Yeah. So my favorite part of that was they were having little problems on one of their open houses. So he decided to run trains into his brand new round table.
House turntable.
The Millhouse turntable.
Installed that.
So I'm filming as he's loading these locomotives up to the turntable. He's spinning the table and they're going into their individual stalls, and he just keeps. And I focused on that, and that video did very well, and it was fun for me to watch. And
I had 56,000 on that.
it was, and that was like I haven't seen it since then, but that was like last year. Yeah, it was quite a bit of views that video.
So let's pull a ticket here for the
If I
stuff we
may
have on the front
interject,
table.
there's a hand back there. Let's get here. Go ahead.
Sid, do you like to buy trains new, or do you buy old trains and restore them?
I like to do both. Like I definitely prefer buying either older things or things that need some work to them because it allows me to have fun working on them and make content out of it. But I do buy brand new things. I have things on order. I also like to buy new old stock from people like Trains with a Z. They always have things that I'm looking for, and when I find stuff like that, I definitely make sure to pick it up. But I enjoy both. I think we have a ticket here.
Yeah, so first giveaway ticket is, we're gonna look at the orange tickets, 520919.
Holy smoke, that's big.
Holy smoke, there you go, man.
Right, there you go. Last time I thought I was gonna win something, actually, I was surprised it was a draft lottery.
There you go. All right.
Chris, if I may, just so everybody knows, there's 72 people in this room, and there's 40 people watching us live right now.
Oh, awesome. That's
George
good.
Starr, the Ford Pit president, division president, just texted me and said there's 40 people watching us.
That's really cool.
This is great.
Oh, awesome. That's good to know. Question, yeah.
For a standard video, from the start to finish, when you decide to start filming, to have a finished posted?
Sure.
How long does that take?
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's something that I have like, at home, I'm ready to film, I would say like I take a day to film and then another day to edit, and then on that same day that I edit it gets uploaded.
What is that in hours though? Not 24
Yeah,
hours.
so I would probably say filming the trains running and me talking is probably like, it can sometimes take like 2 to 3 hours, maybe 4. There's lots of me just saying uhs and ums and trying to figure out what I'm going to say. So I try to figure out what I'm going to say first now, and then I film. But that's usually it. The filming of the trains is really one of my favorite parts, because I'm just running trains and I'm getting cool shots of things, and especially on layouts like Chris's or any layout that's really scenic, it's much better than mine. I don't have a ton of scenery on my layout, so it's just there's only so many scenes I can get. But yeah, I'd say probably 2 to 3 hours to film, and then maybe like an hour to edit or so.
Yeah, I had the last video that I came out with, it was like a 15-20 minute video, and that took about 4 hours worth of filming just to get 20 minutes worth of video, and then another hour to edit on top of that. So we love what we do, and we love putting all this time into our videos to make sure we're putting out the best quality content for you guys, because we love getting the comments and the reactions and the thumbs up, and we all enjoy getting those really nice comments from you guys.
I thrive on efficiency. It's the only way that I can survive and get everything done that I have to do in a day. So I can probably get a video filmed in between 30 and 45 minutes if it's an 8 to 12 minute video. And then the long piece is getting those videos uploaded, because I use that web-based program. So that can take hours. So what I'll do is I'll get everything filmed right before bed, get that started to upload, so it'll upload overnight. And then the next day I'll start my editing. If it's an 8 to 10 minute video, I can have it edited in 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. So about an hour, hour and a half for me, probably total, that amount of time. And that's just if I'm after I'm done working out in the morning, walk by, let's run the train around, get a couple shots, and then, film here and there, B-roll, that kind of stuff, before I sit down and do the actual face-to-face stuff.
Okay, so for me, it's a little bit different since I do train show tour videos. So my day starts off on a 2-hour ride. Let's say for a 1-day show at Edison, New Jersey, at the Greenberg Show. I'll give you an example. So it starts off with a 2-hour ride to Edison, New Jersey. Once I'm there for the whole entire day filming, because there's different things that you like, that you don't like. You got to edit out, edit in, and so you got to take all these different shots and stuff like that. And then, so once I get to Greenberg, I'm there from 8 until 4. Okay, so we'll start off at 6 o'clock, getting at Edison at 8, leaving there at Edison at 4. On the way home, we'll grab a little something quick to eat, because people like to generally see something from my channel at least the next day after the show, so I try to get something out. So another 2-hour ride back home. So now from 4 to 6 o'clock, right? And then at 6, I'm now organizing things, because I already ate on my way home. So at 6 o'clock, I'm working on my very first video. And like Chris was saying, once I put that together, I upload it and go to bed, which is usually right around 10 to 11. So that's how long.
And if I'm doing something if it's a new product that we're reviewing, then there's a research piece added to that. So that takes a few hours ahead of time. So if I've ordered something that I'm going to do a review on, I'll start that research days ahead of time, and then put a script together for what I'm going to say. Try to keep the ums out. Got yelled at in the comment section about that. Let's do a giveaway, and then we'll get the question in the back. You want to read that ticket?
Yeah.
This is donated by you.
This was from me. Ticket, an orange ticket, 520900.
Anybody?
Anybody?
I'm sorry, can you read the number one time?
520900.
There we go.
Oh, awesome.
while you're up here, go ahead.
Yeah, that's,
What kind of motors do legacy engines have?
legacy engines nowadays have, they're called Cannon motors, or DC Cannon motors.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, the next one we're gonna do is Train World Containers was donated by the Biancos from Train World, 520875. 875.
There we
There you
go.
go. These are the new Atlas 20 footers.
40, that's 40.
It's 40. Thank you. We got
It's double the length of the next one.
While you're pulling, we got a question here?
Yep.
Mine's for Chris.
Yes, sir.
When you do a hobby shop, do you call them ahead of time or?
Sometimes I'll reach out.
And have people been like, no, I don't want you to film it?
Yeah, that's a great question. I typically, sometimes I'll try to reach out like through Facebook or something, just to let them know. And usually they're happy to have it. What's that?
You said where you call us.
Or, yeah, for Harry, I called him personally to make sure that he was gonna be there. I have had one shop say, no, thank you. Yeah. So it was kind of a bummer because I was planning to go out there and then hit up 3 more. But they didn't want
They
to.
say why
They said it's security reasons. They didn't want their stuff on the internet. Well, yeah. I've gotten really positive feedback from hobby shops. When we started doing, when we went down to Virginia, was that 2 years ago?
Yeah.
We went to, that's how we found Toy Trains and Collectibles in Manassas. That's what we've had on our channels multiple times. That's Dan Danielson's store. He's got a setup in the Silver Hall.
Blue Hall, yeah.
We filmed there, and I think after that video came out, I got a call from Dan saying, I just sold 3 engines from your video. And he was so grateful. So that's started thinking about it, and that's when the hobby shop hop started to come about. And I've had a lot of guys that have said, hey man, like I got that engine because of that video. So yeah, it is free advertising for them, but the one shop didn't want it. And we respect that. Yeah.
Did you guys ever think you were going to be as popular as you were?
Did?
I would say I dreamed of it, but I didn't think it would get to I thought I would just accumulate a couple hundred people just liking watching my trains go around, but I never thought it would get to this point where it's thousands of people and this.
Yeah, if you told me, 2.5 years ago when I started my channel that I would be, at almost 6,000 and standing in front of 75 people answering questions, I would have laughed in your face. But it's truly remarkable, and I'm thankful for everybody who watches and subscribes because it means a lot. And you guys' story is awesome.
Yeah, I started my channel in 2018 just to, like I said, just to educate, and if anybody wanted to watch it, that's great. It was another name then. And I had the Chris's Trains and Things because I had other stuff on my channel that was more popular. I had a motorcycle I was doing custom parts for and customizing, and those videos did much better than the trains. And so the one thing was, you're kind of on an island, right? And I'm sure I'm not the only person that feels this way in this hobby. You go to your basement and no one knows you have a train layout, and you don't know anybody else that has a train layout because they're in their basement, and it's a niche hobby. There's not many of us out there. So putting things online kind of brings the world in and makes the world a little bit smaller. And then from that, I would never have told you that starting that in 2018 to now that 2 of my best friends would be standing next to me right here that I met through this. We talk every day. And like Jason and RVP as well, we're in daily conversations that I never could have imagined that I would have met the people that I've met, and other people as well. So no, and then not even this, but then doing some consulting work for others, working with Hal at Classic Toy Trains, and how that's taken off in the last year. It's amazing. So I never would have guessed it.
Yeah, I would have never thought I'd been up here either. I actually got off to a real horrible start on YouTube. Originally, for those who may not have watched one of my videos, but I actually started off as EMD Trainman in 2008, and I was just terrible. So, the way I shot videos, the way I was doing things, I just threw myself into it, not knowing what I was doing. So I actually started all over again with a different name, as everybody knows, Dackman Productions in 2010. And, you know, from there, I actually had a wedding photographer who taught me some different things on how to do different shots and stuff like that. And so I learned from him and started doing better things. But even at that point in time, I had no idea that I would be close to 12,000 subscribers. 2 weeks ago, surpassing 5 million channel views. And I appreciate all of you who subscribed and liked my channel and supporting it. And as well as these guys here too, because, you know, I'm getting older and these guys are the future. So hopefully they keep up with their channels as well.
Good question. Let's do a giveaway. So these are donated by Metka. These are the 20-foot containers from Atlas. So first one that we'll do is the white container. Ticket, orange ticket, 520898. 898. Heyo.
There we go.
Next is we're doing a custom stuff.
Make sure to stop by the Metka booth and pick up one of these flyers. Metka has taken a lot of my money through these custom runs that we're doing, which makes Stu very happy in the back. But, so this one is 520915. 915.
There we go.
915. And Sid disappeared, so 520893. 893.
Awesome. You have another question?
I got just a general fun two-parter for y'all.
All right.
What do y'all have that you're looking forward to running more? And what are y'all looking for that you're excited to find?
So what was the first part of that question again?
What do y'all have that you're excited to run more?
Okay.
And what are y'all excited to look for in the future?
Oh, awesome. That's a great question. Well, it would definitely be from the show. So I was fortunate, found the Vision Line GG1 in Penn Central. That is almost impossible to find, I think, since their catalog. And then I found all the passenger cars to go with it. So that I'm thrilled with. So we had it on the layout last night running it. It's awesome. So that is one that I'm really happy that I got. That I'm finally running. There's too many other things that, when you have the roundhouse, things hide in there and you kind of forget they're in there. So I got to keep remembering to pull some stuff out. That's why Sid comes over to the house and next thing you know, he pulls every engine out onto the turntable, which is risky because it doesn't always line up.
We had a derail last night, didn't we?
We did.
Luckily, we did.
You derail it, you got to climb on the table and fix it.
Yeah. But
Hey Chris, I'll show you a way to take care of that.
All right.
I bought a JLC H7. It's a big articulated here at the show. I like the JLC line of engines, so I'm always looking forward to running them, and getting another one that I was looking for is something that I'm excited to definitely run more. And then this is something I think everybody that is really into Lionel trains wants, and I think all of us are always looking, but they're very expensive. So is an original 700E Hudson. I'm always on the lookout for one. I see them, but obviously they're pretty pricey. So the right time and the right price and just the right situation will have to come. But that's definitely something I'm excited to someday have in my collection.
So I guess we're kind of turning this into what we picked up this week because we haven't gotten a chance to run it yet. So this morning I picked up a JLC Brunswick Green 5-stripe Pennsylvania Railroad GG1 over at the trains booth. And I've always wanted a GG1. It's one I've wanted in my collection for a very long time now. And as it said, the JLCs are some of the best GG1s that were put out there in the O-scale market.
Except for the Vision Line one that I got.
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me. So I'm looking really forward to getting that back on the layout and running that because it's an engine I've wanted ever since I could, pick out what a train was.
Yeah.
And one that I will forever be on the lookout for is a regular Long Island Railroad G5 made by MTH. That's like Sid 700E. That's also my bugaboo.
And I'm still on the hunt for my finds. Anybody who watches my channel knows I'm a Conrail diesel guy. So I'm actually looking for a Lionel Legacy Conrail GP35 that was made in 2012. And for those who don't know the story behind that, so when Lionel originally got the Conrail GP35, they sent them out to the customers without inspecting them. And when the customers got them out of their boxes, their container boxes, and opened them up, they were like in shock because they forgot to put the Conrail stamping on the side of it. So you got a blue locomotive with the Conrail name on the nose, and that was it. A lot of people were upset. They sent them back to Lionel, get their money back, whatever have you. Lionel did come out with replacement shells. So I thought, I actually ran across somebody who had these replacement shells through a Lionel warehouse sale. So I have brand new in the box, a Lionel Conrail GP35 replacement shell. I would love to find the one that's blank to put in my collection, believe it or not, because I think that would be a great conversation piece.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's good. For me, one that I don't have that I'm looking for, I'm not really sure.
You'll find something.
Yeah, I'm too impulsive. Changes. So.
You'll know when you see it.
Exactly. Yeah. I would love to get a standard gauge blue Comet, and I know that they're out there for sale, but I cannot afford them. Maybe one day.
What's your guys' favorite railroads?
Favorite railroad? Sean.
Well, I'm sure everybody knows it's Conrail.
Gotta go with Big Blue.
Big Blue, that's it.
There you go. Pennsylvania for me.
Long Island.
Norfolk and Western.
The right railroad right over there.
Good question. Anybody else have a question?
Time for RJ.
Yeah.
Are there any other Long Island locomotives that you're on the hunt for, or
All
do you think you got all
Oh,
of them?
no, I won't. Like, there was a 280 consolidation, an MTH Premier one. That was, I think I was at Vince Trains' booth Thursday and yesterday. And unfortunately, because of work, I couldn't come Thursday or yesterday. I'm only here today. And Chris sent me a picture on Thursday, and I said, if it's still there Saturday, it was meant to be. I'm going to run in and buy it. And somebody who we know, a mutual friend, he ended up purchasing it on his way out of the Orange Hall yesterday. So I missed it by about 2 hours. But yeah, I want all of the Long Island.
Thank you. You have a question?
What advice would you give yourself if you were just starting out?
You don't need to buy every single train.
With YouTube specifically.
No, I actually, because you can get caught up in seeing people and like, especially, you see people posting on Instagram that they got this new train and that new train, and it can certainly seem like a lot. Like, everybody's buying all these new trains and I'm not buying anything. And at the end of the day, like, you have to focus on what you love and, focus on the trains that you like. And make videos and stories about things that you like, because if you buy trains that you don't like, which I think all of us have done, we've bought trains just to make the video, and then we end up regretting spending money on it, and then we ended up selling it soon after. So focus on making videos about things that you like, and don't worry about other things, because that's what makes us unique. All four of us said we enjoy modeling different railroads, and it makes our channels stand out because we're passionate about the videos that we make.
Yeah. And everyone has their own take on a story. Like, you could get an engine that everyone else has, but you could have your own story about it. So maybe you saw like the real thing growing up, and you're like, I want that, or there's just some other story to it. Like, you putting your own take on something, like you were saying, is really what will make it fun for you and interesting to an audience.
Yeah. Yeah, I think pace yourself is something that I would go back and say, because you go to Eric Siegel's channel, like, he's who I was watching when I got into this, and his collection's fantastic, but he's been collecting for a long time, right? And people come to my basement like, my goodness, like, you have all this. I've been collecting for a long time, but I splurged for the beginning few years and overextended myself. I've had conversations with my friend Stu in the back before about like the burnout of trying to keep up, and almost the toxicity in the social media world, because you only ever see new stuff, right? There's another train, another train, another train. There's a lot happening in the background too. I rotate a lot of my collection, so that way, I get something and it's great and I'll run it, but some of the things that I have in my basement now are for sale. And if they don't sell, that's great. They can stay on my wall and look fantastic, and I'll still run them and enjoy them. But you have to be able to balance the checkbook at the end of the day.
Chris, how do you sell them?
Just post them on either the forum or on Instagram that they're for sale. OGR, yeah. It's worked to post things there to sell them. Or there's a lot of Facebook groups as well. But even just posting just on Instagram that it's for sale, getting it out there. I've done YouTube before and sold some things. I do not use eBay. Let's do a raffle for some more stuff from the TCA. Do you have a ticket? Tickets, please. Okay. All right, so we're going to do 3. We got a bag here. So for the big bear here, 520-885. 885.
That's great.
All right, right?
I have a 6-year-old daughter.
Oh, perfect.
All right, and next up, this TCA tote bag, 520-894. 894.
Right.
The little panda bear, we have orange ticket 520923. 923.
Okay, all right. Do you have any other questions? Stu?
This has to do with views and viewers versus subscribers. I was chatting with one of you guys and he shared that there's a pretty big difference between the number of views you get on a video versus the number of people that subscribe to your channel. Is that, do you guys all see that? And then part 2 of the question is subscribing. A lot of people have expressed to me that they're afraid to subscribe to a channel because they think they're going to get flooded with ads and emails and alerts.
Oh.
Can you maybe clarify what it means to subscribe to a video versus maybe hitting the like button versus hitting the bell button? So disparity between views and subscribers, and then also talk about subscribing, liking, and the bell notification.
Awesome. So, yeah, for me, YouTube has an analytics side that you can go to, and it will tell you with a video or multiple videos, returning viewers versus new viewers, and then subscribed viewers versus unsubscribed viewers. Typically, I'm at about 65% of viewers are unsubscribed to my channel that are watching it. It's probably pretty standard that you're going to get a lot more views from people that are unsubscribed to the channel. I'm at about 7,600 subscribers right now. Some of the videos that I have gotten over 20,000 views. But even the ones that only get 3,000, not all my subscribers watch those videos.
Yeah, and I've noticed with some smaller channels, I see this on pages, and just people being concerned when they're starting out and they see that only non-subscribed people are watching their stuff. You want people that aren't subscribed watching your stuff, because they watch one video too, then maybe they subscribe. Because if all you have is your 300 subscribers or however many you have watching, you're not expanding your audience. You want to try and expand your audience. So that's something it's kind of a misconception I see sometimes, like people saying, come on, everyone needs to be subscribed. Well, you don't want everyone to be. Obviously, you want to keep a bunch of people close to you, but you also got to bring in new people as well.
So if you subscribe, that doesn't mean you're getting emails or anything like that. It simply means that when a new video comes out, YouTube's gonna put that video at the top of your home screen. If you hit the bell notification, YouTube will then send you a push notification when a new video's been posted. So on your phone, you might see a little banner that comes up, Chris Strengths and Things, new videos posted. Does the bell send you an email? I don't think it does.
All it does, and then like on the YouTube homepage, there'll be like a little bell notification in the top right-hand corner, and for all the ones that you have notifications turned on for, it'll tell you who uploaded.
Yeah.
And I've actually had people come up to me and explain to me, hey, we'd rather not subscribe, and also commenting. They'd rather not commenting, so they refer to themselves as those who like to be in the last bleacher of the baseball field just watching, which is fine by me. So You know, views is the most important thing for all of us, over anything. You know, subscribers is okay, I'm glad people subscribe, but the most important thing for our channel is the people watch it, they view it, and that's what we count on.
Yeah, and then liking the video just helps with the analytics. If a video gets a ton of likes, then
It pushes it up.
Yeah, it pushes it up in the algorithm because it shows people like this video, so let's push it to more people so that they can see this content that is obviously good.
So Sid, what typically brings people to like? I mean, like what do you found is like the compelling?
I think we all have kind of different reasons for this. Like, in my case, usually I get a lot of like I'm noticing now, like, I've been told this for a while and I've been doing it, but like, when I work on a train, people like that, they want to see that. But say if I did a video that's not really like my normal thing, like what if I was doing a ton of scenery, like I probably wouldn't get as many likes as say me working on a train. So I think everyone has a different formula. I don't know what you got yours.
I found that typically the videos that do the best for me is where I discuss the history of the locomotive, you know, maybe include some real life video or pictures of it, and then transition to running it on my layout. And then scenery master over here.
Yeah, the scenery videos that I do get, like the how-tos, get the most likes for my channel.
And for me, it's the show tour videos. So when I go to the different train shows like Greenberg, the Great Scale Train Show, they do very well for me. So I get the most likes on those videos, and it pushes it up to, as I was explaining, to more people to view.
So would it be more safe to say that for all the work you're known for certain things, like Sid making train magic, and RJ doing a lot of history, and Chris doing a lot of scenery, and you doing a lot of show videos? You're known for that, so when you give them what they expect from you, you get a lot of likes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's super cool. So you have that brand or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
What advice would you give to a small YouTuber such as me?
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah.
No, you have to have fun in the videos that you're making, and that's by people seeing how excited you are about your trains. That's what gets people excited and watching your videos. Like if I buy a train and I'm just sitting there moping the whole time, like, oh, this is a new train. Nobody's gonna like that video. Like, it's not gonna be well received. But if you guys, you know,
The key is to enjoy.
the passion goes through the computer screen, and people enjoy seeing your passion for trains.
Yeah, the passion and excitement, right?
Yeah.
Do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Right? Don't listen to everybody else.
Do any of you have a preferred method for adding external circuit protection to a ZW?
I think he has this on his layout. Like I have transformers that already have the breakers in them, but you use inline fuses,
I
right?
use inline breakers,
Breakers.
so quick throw breakers, so I wire all of my tracks that are powered through a ZW, go to specific power switches, and then a quick breaker.
Is it
So,
something like you get from Mauser or Digicom
yeah.
or something?
Or like online Radio Shack.
And is it like a 5 amp or?
I think it's 6, yeah.
It's 6.
Yeah.
6 to 8 is normal. Like if you're running old stuff, having a little bit high, like if you're running a bunch of old passenger cars, it usually helps to have slightly higher amps because all those cars draw amps. But if you're running new stuff and you want to actually protect the stuff, yeah, probably 6 amp is good.
All right, let's do one more door prize, and then we'll answer a few more questions, and then
We'll
we'll
do
do the grand prize.
We've got a bunch of stuff from trains to give away as well.
So we've got this awesome K-Line operating Candy Cane dump car from TCA, yes. This thing is heavy too. I would steal it if nobody was looking for it. So winning ticket number is 520880. 880.
Nobody?
Anybody? Maybe we draw a different one?
Draw another one. Say it one more time.
880.
No, 880.
Going once, 880. Going twice.
We got a new ticket. I guess 520891.
One, there we go. Here, give the trains back more too.
We'll
get these out.
I think we'll just give these out. we can answer some more
Questions?
Have you guys ever had a YouTube burnout? And if you have, what do you think?
Well, RJ retired.
Yeah. I was going through a lot of one period, and I decided that one of the better things to do for me in that time was just to step away from YouTube. Because as I mentioned earlier, you know, sometimes when you're seeing these people on social media and like everybody's getting new trains, you feel the need to buy all the new trains too, so you can keep up. And I recognized that I was getting to a point that wasn't sustainable, and so, you know, I took a break from YouTube and, you know, just a couple of the other social medias, you know, to reset myself and get myself together. And I mean, we all go through highs and lows of the model train hobby. You know, it's getting warmer out. You know, typically you want to be outside during this time of the year, doing, you know, outdoor activities and not being in your basement necessarily all day. But yeah, I think we've all experienced some sort of burnout at one point or
I
another.
think it's usually just taking a break or still running the trains or working on the trains or maybe going to a show, but maybe not filming it at one time. Just like doing what you do already, but just not filming it because you just have fun with it. And then you'll relax a little, and then you can get right back into it. And it'll be because I don't like put out a video every week. I usually put it out and let it sizzle for several weeks because that helps the analytics and also just allows me to not just get burnt out by working on the trains or the filming.
I schedule a bunch of videos, so I'll film a bunch of, like, at one time, and then schedule them out. So then they're in a queue, so they'll drop every Friday afternoon. So that way I don't have to film for a period of time. It gives me, I can take like 3 weeks off because I've got 4 videos that are gonna go out over the next 4 weeks. So,
Is there a day you guys recommend that's the best?
say that one more time?
You mentioned, is there a day that you guys have found that's the best to drop?
So the analytics in YouTube will tell you when most of your viewers are online. So you can go into the studio piece and to your audience, and it will tell you like the day. It gives you a calendar essentially, and then the times, and then a color graphing of where you're gonna get more viewers from your channel or on YouTube. So I use, everyone's is gonna be unique to their viewer base, and then you just find like the day before that, drop it and let it index and everything, and then we'll get some.
And to add to that, it's not just the day, it's also time that I've found as well. So usually like if you're, you know, you don't want to load up a video too late, but you don't want to load up one too early. So it's like for me in the afternoon from 12 to 3 or 12 to 4 seems to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so quick question. I noticed a lot of y'all are on both YouTube and Instagram. And that y'all have been doing both YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels.
Yeah.
Like, what's your experience of the pros and cons of both, as well as which do you prefer? Do you like to spread them out? Do you like to do one over the other? That kind of thing.
I've always looked at Instagram as a more like it can be a more day-to-day kind of thing, or like an event-specific thing with stories and reels, or it's a way to advertise. But I don't like truly put content on there that's like several minutes long. I don't live stream on there very often. If I haven't done a live stream on there probably like 2 years. So I look at it as more of a day-to-day thing, or just kind of a place to update people and kind of see some of the background of things.
Yeah, the shorts, YouTube Shorts algorithm seems to have changed recently, because it used to be, you'd post a short on on YouTube, and it would be flatline, and then something would happen, and the graph just goes, and you get like 1,200 views in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it tabletops and plateaus. Over the last 3 weeks, that's changed, that it's much steadier and lower. So I was throwing a lot when we're seeing like that chart shoot up, because it's a great way to just have people quickly see your stuff and then subscribe. For Instagram, yeah, every once in a while I'll throw a reel on. But yeah, mostly I use Instagram to advertise when something's coming out.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little old school, so you know, I'm still getting used to Instagram. You know, I'll post things like these guys said once in a while to advertise, whatever have you. I've done a couple shorts, but I'd rather just do full size videos rather than shorts.
Yeah. And some people, it's interesting too, because people don't get the shorts or reels. So you'll get people that'll comment negatively about why are you filming vertically? That's how it's supposed to be filmed. So it's interesting, just that dichotomy of new ways to consume content. So we're gonna do a giveaway here. This is donated from Trains with Z.
I believe this is this the one that, I think this is the one that RBP did a video on.
Yes.
Yeah,
this is on Chris's layout.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool to see that. Yeah, it's from Trains with a Z, and it's blue tickets for all the kids. The number is 269005.
That's me.
All right.
To do with that, see that Conrail sign, I saw that.
Yeah, I was checking out his Conrail shirt, yeah.
Do you have any other questions here? Yeah.
Would you use a train simulator like Trains 19 or 22 to plan a route?
Interesting. I do not use any of the simulators. The only thing I've used on a computer is track planning software when I design my layout.
I do not. I don't think any of us here do that. But I do know some people in our friend group that do that a little. He's actually using a simulator to build his layout, like kind of like what Chris was saying, creating a track plan, but in that simulator.
Any other questions? Yeah.
Where do you get the money to buy all the trains?
Excellent question. Turn off the live stream for that and block you on this right now.
Remember, your wife is watching the live.
She's also watching my bank account. I got my first job at 13 and worked ever since. Never took off work when I was in college. So really just started grinding then. The goal is to make it self-sufficient. Would be really nice, getting close to being there. You know, at this point, you know, you do make some revenue off of YouTube and things like that, which helps. But it's just, you grind, you work, you budget, and you don't overextend yourself. Save your money. Don't buy something just to say you bought something. You know, that's just pretty much how we do it. For me, I've got 2 kids. My wife and I both work full time. Just very open about, you know, I budget X amount of money from a paycheck that goes into my train account to use. And the biggest tip is don't use a credit card. Because you're gonna use a credit card because it's easy, and then you realize, oh, now I've got $2,500 I gotta figure out how to pay off. So don't use a debit card. If you have money, use that money. One of the things that RJ and I started doing now is for pre-orders, because you don't have to pay for the pre-order, but then they come in and they hit your credit card or your debit card, is I buy gift cards to myself from Train World. So when I pre-order something from Train World, obviously I can see what my account is going to be and what I'm going to owe. So whenever I'm going to buy, I think about spending money on a train, I then go to Train World's website instead and buy myself a gift card for Train World. So that way when that pre-order comes in, that money's already there. And I've already spent it. And I know that it's been budgeted already. So
we like to joke that we're each other's sponsors.
Yeah. Just make sure that we're not, it's
and then each time we send each other like, oh, we should buy this train, and then we just send each other like the link to Train World and buy gift cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is like the oldest, or if you, I don't know if I should ask, but what's the oldest or rarest train you have in your collection?
The oldest one would be the locomotive that I got when I was 5 from my grandfather. So that was a 90s Reading steam locomotive from Lionel. It's nothing too old.
I think the oldest stuff I have are some old pre-war trains from both Lionel and Marks. I don't show them very often, but those are the trains I played with when I was younger. And then my, I guess, rarest thing. It's funny, all the things I've said are rare in videos aren't actually. It's just kind of. Also, the word rare is relative, but it's probably some brass items I have from Third Rail and a company called Right of Way.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, those are probably because they were just limited quantity, so probably the.
Yeah, I have a few post-war locomotives that I love. My layout's now fully command controlled, so it's difficult to run with post-war engines. But I would say my rarest engine in my collection is my Weaver Tennessean that Sid upgraded to with Proto Sounds 3. So I only know there was only 200 something of them made, and I only know of one other one that's been upgraded to Proto Sounds 3. So it's a one of two.
Yeah.
If you ever want to get rid of that.
I might shoot up with that.
Sean?
Well, I, the oldest that I have on my home layouts, because I don't know if you guys know or not, but I had actually two different layouts. I have one dedicated just to the MPC era, because that's what I grew up with. At the time I was building a layout, I wanted to keep everything separate. So I wanted the modern stuff on its own, and then I wanted the MPC stuff on its own. So most of my oldest stuff is the MPC era, which we all know it's not the rarest thing in the world, but it's something I grew up with, I loved, and one of my favorite pieces from the MPC era to run is the Penn Central GG1. And I actually made a video that a Penn Central train, and I called it the Emerald Express, which a lot of fans did like.
So we've been here for about an hour, and we're going to do the last giveaway. This is donated by someone in the room, so thank you to that person for donating this. So we're going to go blue ticket.
Yeah, we're gonna blue ticket 269010.
The winner. We're gonna, that's what it's all about. That's why we do what we do.
Yeah, exactly.
So thank you all for coming. It's humbling to see how many people come into the room and yeah, we do have some training stuff up here. Quinn's gonna say something here, but we'll hang out if you have any other questions you want to ask or get a picture. Please come grab. We've got awesome drawstring bags and shirts from trains, free to grab. So Kevin, take it away.
I want to thank these guys again, tremendous job. This is a tremendous forum. It's very informative. I certainly came away with a lot of information, that's for sure. Can't thank you guys enough. That's just a couple of plugs. I want to thank everybody for coming out to the York show. This year we have the convention up in Burlington. If any YouTubers want to come up, talk to us, we'd be happy to have you. Also in 2024, the convention is here in Lancaster. Okay, talk to Bob, he'll be happy to have any YouTubers. I know he's talked to a bunch of you guys already about it.
I'll be there.
If you guys want to come, we'd be more than happy to help you out and film it. It'd be great. Again, thank you guys. Come on up and get your goodies.